describe it, I guess, with everything. Hard, for sure. But um, it's paying off. The sacrifices, the environment I'm in, the hardcore training, everything. You know, it's finally paying off. I'm starting to see myself evolve again. I've been to a few big time gyms in my career coming because I've been fighting for 14 years almost, and you will hit a brick wall where you become almost the best in your area, and you just gotta go out and the thing about fighting is what I think can help people out and mentally is to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to make unnecessary uh, sacrifices that you wouldn't have to make unless you're a fighter, and putting yourself and making it through those and becoming mentally stronger. You bust through brick walls, man, and you level up. And I've finally seen I've been here about a year and 4 months now, and I'm finally seeing myself level up. I'm starting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hanging with these guys, the best in the world. If not winning some rounds on them and stuff too. And before then, basically my first three fights in the UFC, I wasn't really here. I was here 2 or 3 weeks, home 2 or 3 weeks, here 2 or 3. So I wasn't. I was coming here getting beat up, getting black eyes, and going home and beating people up, and then getting out of shape, and then coming back here. And this time I blocked myself in here like 11 weeks, man. I haven't went home. I haven't seen my family, my wife, my dogs, nothing, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
my friends, and I've just been here. And I've been wanting to go home and take a little break, want to go home and rest a week, but 1 week might turn into 2 weeks. Your car might break down. This might happen. You might go low on money. Somebody might get sick, or they might not let you come back here and live in this room in the dorm because now it might be too full, and they're flying people in from everywhere here now living in these dorms. So yeah, it's been hard but cool, man. I'm meeting. I just went and had dinner with Diego Sanchez and Josh. We just went and had lunch, man. That guy, hey, dude gets a lot of critics
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. So do I. But the man's got knowledge. He understands a lot more than what people think. And shoot, I think every fighter needs a guru, somebody to stretch them out. And man, fighters are so stiff. He done one of his stretching practices on me over there after the Diego, man, and I literally can kick higher. I literally feel a whole lot more relief. Like it's even different than because I had a guru years ago back with me and my friend Luis Palomino Baboon. We had a guy and we actually called him Guru, and he stretched us out and stuff, man. I remember I used to feel so much looser, so much younger, and just getting one of those 15-minute stretches from him, man, I felt like I could have done another training session, but I wish I would have got that before my first one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha, man. And looking at that Shiner, is Diego Sanchez to blame for the black eye, or like which training partner got you that one?
no, Diego actually just started training here 2 days ago, and we haven't got to train together, but we're getting one-on-one training tomorrow at 11 o'clock, me and him. So we'll 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 I don't know if we're gonna spar or grapple or what, but one of the regional guys, Josh, is actually a 35er. We're sparring. This is like the longest black eye I've ever had. I usually heal quick, but this one was weird. It wasn't a bad one, and it actually started over here and then moved into here now. It was like that color over here, and now it's that color now. It's weird. Weirdest black eye I've ever had, but it was his elbow. We were in
Mm-hmm.
a grappling exchange, and his elbow accidentally hit me coming. It was a weird position, but luckily it didn't cut my eye open, and didn't have to deal with that going into this fight, next Friday.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, man, that sucks. But going into this fight camp, do you think this is the best fight camp you've had? You said that like this is what you needed. You needed isolation. You needed to work with elite level talent in this like war zone kind of environment. So, do you think this is the best camp you've had for a fight?
Bro, this is the by far the best out of all almost 14 years of my life. This is the best 12 weeks I've had, like straight 12 weeks out of all 14 years. I've really seen myself grow in this 14 weeks, and I really stayed true. Like I was on the podcast I was on IG Live yesterday with my boy David Van Auken.
Five
And
Bananas, right?
Fight Bananas, yeah. And he asked almost a similar question. And I basically said, there would be times in camps, definitely recently since I got in the UFC, I kind of got comfortable. I got my contract, and I was like, I got 4 fights, and they love me. I'm marketable. I'm the native guy. They're
Yeah.
not gonna release me. They're gonna give me all 4 of my fights. So it's like I'm you for the last 14 years. I'm going to every fight thinking I can't lose because then I got to get a 6-fight win streak. Then and I was on a 6-fight win streak, 7-fight win streak, 8-fight win streak before I got in the UFC. So it's like you can't lose, bro. And that's that mentality that I had to go in every fight, and that's what brought that dog out that people saw in the Contender in the fights, in the 7 fights before that. And then when I got the UFC contract, it's like that dog. I just put him in his kennel. He's there, but he's in his kennel. And I in my fights, I knew in my fights I didn't give it 99 plus 1. I gave it about that last count. I trained 8 weeks for Frank Camacho, and then I got switched to a 2-day notice for Jalen Turner. Totally different
Yeah,
fighter.
really crazy.
Totally different fight. And I was broke. I owed people. I owed places. I had to fight, So, and at the UFC level, I see now you can't just fight. Like, you got to take this a little more smarter. You need to game plan for these guys. Everybody is just as good as you or better. They have super smart coaches, so they're breaking you down. And they're knowing, and then there's a such thing as bad matchups, definitely if you didn't train for them. I definitely feel like with a 9-week camp, an 8-week camp, I'll beat Jalen Turner. He has the reach on me, the height on me, and the size on me. And he was still slowing down in that fight, and I saw it. And right before he caught me, I thought I was about to win that fight. I knew I was going to survive a hard first round. I was like, but he's going to gas. And he started to gas. He just caught me. I ran into a punch because I was being like an idiot and I wasn't thinking. And like I said, that goes back to just I have a problem with underestimating my opponents. Sometimes I think I'm just gonna run through them for some reason. I'm like, I'm just way better than them. Yeah. And it's like, it takes somebody to like me to look at when I look at their tape, and I'm like, okay, this motherfucker's good. I gotta fight. I gotta, train hard. I gotta be on my P's and Q's. And then if I look at his cape and it was just okay, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm just do me, walk forward, beat this guy, break him, all that. But no, I had to learn the hard way. It's not like that on the highest level. It is like that most of the time on the regional, definitely on the amateur. But in the UFC, I figured out just training with these guys down there, all those UFC guys I'm going with every day, they're fucking good, man. And it just takes it takes more than the dog. It takes more than being tough. It takes an IQ and all that. Like when I'm used to fighting guys that ain't got an IQ, they're probably tough and they take a beat. But I'm going to beat them, or guys that had an IQ but they wasn't tough. You survive a first round, and boom. But it's like everybody in the UFC has an IQ and they're tough and they have cardio and everybody can wrestle, even if there was a grappler. Everybody is good on the ground, even though there wasn't a grappler. So it's like their matchups is crazy. But like I said, my last fight was 6 months ago, and I've been training with these killers, and I'm finally seeing myself. I say the last 2 months, I'm upgraded. I'm on a new level, and I think it's good that I get released right now, because I can get my mojo back with some confidence on these regional guys. Not trying to underestimate them, but unless they're training with guys like I'm training with every day, and I get in there and I do my thing and I'm there and I'm in the zone and I'm in the present moment, I'm gonna be really hard to beat. And it shouldn't take me 2 more fights. It shouldn't take me two wins to get back in the UFC, and or go somewhere that is gonna value me. PFL. I would like to try to win $1 million, or
that'd be awesome, man.
Or win, or in anywhere that's paying, decent money and giving exposure. Man, I'll travel the world. I've never been out of the United States, so I'll go to Asia. Okay, cool. I'll go wherever. I want to get out of the United States a little bit anyway. I don't even know if no Native American been out of the States.
Gotcha. And talking about the UFC release too, like you're a very marketable name. You're like a fun fighter to watch always. Like what other offers were on the table besides IKON, and were you thinking about maybe like going to like an organization like Bellator, LFA? Like, was there any other offers on the table?
My manager said everywhere pretty much wants me to get a win first, like those big names, and then after I get a win, like I said before too, a winning Brok Weaver with a good interview is the most marketable guy in MMA, and I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I look at this. I look at the fighting. I watch the fighting, bro, and the funnest guys to watch right now are the two most marketable guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because they are marketable, and or they have something special about them. You know, Conor McGregor, always, okay. Even losing, everybody still
Mm-hmm.
wants to see him fight. And uh, you know, Kevin Holland, he's gonna talk junk. I bring all that. I feel like I bring the junk talking. I'm gonna start. Everybody wants to see my weigh-ins because they don't know I'm gonna paint my. They want to see what I put on my face. They want to see
Yeah.
how I'm gonna come out and how I'm gonna start a fight with you this time. And people love that, and I'm gonna give that every time. So like I said, I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. There's people looking at me. I'm sure. I give them a win and a good interview, and I can probably go anywhere I want to.
Mm-hmm. Like
I'm
you
just
haven't
ready
been
to
out.
fight. I'm just ready. I took IKON like my manager was like, shit, you can fight on IKON in 2 weeks in Mexico, Sinaloa, most dangerous place in the world. I said, put me there. He said, main event. I said, put me on it. He said, against a Mexican. I said, let's go. Mexicans love me, man. They're native descendants too.
Oh yeah, man.
They're either
I'm
gonna love
Mexican.
me or they're gonna hate me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And this is your first fight outside the States. Is that correct?
That's right.
How excited are you to go to Mexico? I know it's like a very dangerous territory of especially with this fight. But how excited are you to go there?
Man, I'm gonna document and make a movie of it for sure. If I make it back alive, it's gonna be one hell of a story.
What's gonna be the name of your movie?
If this was an ocean.
Nice, man. Nice.
And I have
And
there's a famous Mowa saying behind that. So people
gotcha.
only Mowas know the saying, but when the movie comes out and the saying happens, and then at the end everybody will be like, oh. So it's one of those moments.
Nice, man. Is there like any other dream destinations that you want to fight in? Like I know you haven't been overseas, like maybe Japan or China, like for one horizon, but is there any specific locations that you want to fight before you call it a career?
Yeah, for sure. Like definitely like in Asia, anywhere in Asia, Japan, definitely. I'm a big anime fan, big Japanese anime fan. So to go over there and venture around and maybe go out into their mountains and visit like some of the scary spots they got over there and then experience that and give back to the Asian community too, and I believe I would have a lot of Asian fans over there. Just, I know that the Asians, they love that flashy stuff.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
for
why they
sure,
love
man.
Crazy Horse. They love Rampage, doing the and with the chain,
Hmm.
and Wanderlei, because Wanderlei he was the axe murderer. He looked like he had an axe on him at all times, you know. So it they would love me. I would love to get a win and go to one, and they pay good. And I've never been to Asia, so there. Another place. Shit, man.
A fight with Eddie Alvarez would be like awesome, man. At one
Oh,
over at one, that would be amazing.
that would be amazing. I never even thought about that, but now I'm thinking about that.
And speaking about anime too, I asked Wonderboy the same question. If you had to compare yourself or your story to any anime character there is, who would you compare yourself to?
Bro, I've always said, and I don't know if you follow me, but I'm the real life Goku. My story is just like Goku's, man. All I wanted to do is train and fight the best people in the world to test myself. and train. You know, like Goku. If you look at his life, he basically sacrificed everything just to train, but he was happy.
Mm-hmm.
He was happy. He was happy though through the whole thing, and he made the people that was with him that he sacrificed happy still. And I feel like that's what I do. I got 9 dogs back at home. I'm here training. You know, wives almost sacrificed to marriage and stuff. You know, we went through it, but as long as I was training, I could just see a future. I just wanted to keep getting better. I like to be here at the American Top Team because you might there might be a guy from Thailand coming here that's like 1,000 Muay Thai fights, and he just looks like he's nothing, and then he starts blasting you kick, or a guy from Poland might come in here and be like some leg lock monster that you don't even know, and then you got like guys in Bellator. They're like, there's some dude in here. What's his name? Uh, he's like 27-0. I'll spar with this guy, roll with him for
Wow.
weeks, and didn't even know that. And then it come and he was 5-0 in Bellator, and he's at 170, and he's 27-0. Only other person like got a record like that is Khabib, and I'm
Wow,
training with him
it's
every day.
crazy.
Yeah, nobody knows him because he is very solid. He's like, that's what they call him, the solid killer.
Silent killer. I feel like I know him. Like my guess would be AJ McKee because he's like what 17-0, but that's he doesn't fight at 170.
No, his name is as soon as I say his name, you're gonna know him. He beat Ed Ruth 2 fights ago in Bellator.
Ed Roof. Okay.
He's a white guy from Ukraine.
Is it Vadim? No, it's not Vadim Nemkov. Wait, yeah. Is it Vadim No.
No,
No, he's lost before.
I'm brain farted right now, man. But I'm gonna think of his name. Yeah, I'm telling you, he don't have good
Yeah.
English, but me and him are cool, and I can't believe I forgot his name. But it's Amasov.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I
Amasov,
got you. Yeah, that guy's
27
good,
and
man.
0, bro. He's a
Hmm.
beast. He's like the best. He's like the best all around fighter in here, you know. And I'm training with him every day, and we're going, and he's freaking whooping my butt. But I'm hanging with him, and I didn't even know. I'm just thinking this guy like 3-0 pro might be coming into the UFC or Bellator or something, you know. And then King Mo's like, yeah, that's Amasov. Nobody knows him. He's a solid killer. Best record other than Khabib.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure,
But
man.
yeah, there's just people like that, man, just popping in. I'm just like getting killed by him and then getting better. Getting killed by him, then getting better. And
Hmm.
that's what I love. That's what makes me happy, man, to see myself grow as a martial artist, as a fighter. And then it also makes you grow as a person in the world, you know.
Hmm. For sure. And yeah, speaking more like outside the UFC, like who do you think is the best like pound for pound fighter outside the UFC? Like a lot of people look at Demetrius Johnson, Douglas Lima, Gegard Mousasi. Like who do you think's the pound for pound like best outside the UFC?
Uh, I mean, I and that kind of after that performance that he had last, you could definitely say Gegard Mousasi,
Hmm.
against Lima. Uh, or I mean, you could always say Mighty Mouse, but we're gonna see my teammate Adriano's been training hard for him, man. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
Adriano's a very crafty grappler, so very good submission. So I'm excited to see if Demetrius can beat this young new uh, guy, flashy submission guy. If he can, then definitely Mighty Mouse. But I mean, and as of right now, Mighty Mouse, is probably the best fighter outside the UFC.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, I'm excited to see him how he does against Adriano because Adriano is like he's definitely underrated because like when people look at other organizations, they give him as like B level, C level. Like they don't think of him on the same level, but honestly, they are just as good as UFC talent.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him and Peter Yan spar when Peter Yan was here every day. And not saying that he whooped Peter Yan or anything, but he's definitely not a B. He's an A-class fighter. And Peter Yan's an A-plus fighter. You know, so I definitely wouldn't call him no B-class fighter. He's one of the best. He's got his thing that he's really good at, man. He'll catch you in a submission, and he's a big 25er. Demetrius he's a lot bigger than Demetrius, and he's strong. I don't. Demetrius beats people too by being able to out grapple them and out wrestle them. I don't think he'll be able to out wrestle and out grapple Adriano.
Mm-hmm. And going off of Peter Yan, obviously the legal knee that he landed on Sterling, you've kind of been in the same position in your UFC debut, unfortunately. But what do you think of that whole situation? And can you give me your thoughts on that?
It was definitely a legal knee. Definitely wasn't as hard as mine. I had the hardest illegal
Oh,
knee of
yeah, for
all
sure.
time. Like they work, and everybody's been getting illegal knee now. I call it the luck of the Indian, the curse of the Indian, and I cursed him. But I mean, yeah, Jan should have lost the fight, man. You just got to know the rules, bro. But sometimes it's an accident, man. I don't feel like Vargas is a full accident. I feel like he was trying to get away with it. Maybe now, looking at it. That night I didn't know because I was concussed. I got back to the hotel and didn't even know I fought. I asked my wife, when's the fight start? Why is it dark?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was out, man. And I ain't gonna lie, my chin. I feel punches now in training. I'm having to move my head a lot more. I'm feeling punches in the fight now. I used to didn't feel punches, bro. But that definitely I think weakened my brain. I didn't believe in that stuff until now, and I'm like, fighters need to be took care of a little bit more, bro. And get more brain scans and CTEs, and it should never cost you a dime ever. And your whatever corporation you're fighting for needs to pay for that. And that needs to be mandatory. Like
Oh, definitely.
like they asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital that night when I got a legal need, and I said no. Tell you why? Because I didn't know where I was at. I was in the back
Mm-hmm.
watching the fights, and I didn't feel like leaving. And then I had a massive headache, and my head started banging and ringing in the hotel, and I felt like I was about to die. Okay, like when you get a legal need, for sure, it should be no question. Hey, Brock, you're going to the UFC. You're going to the hospital right now, or you're getting 6 months suspension, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
pay for it and take care of you. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
No, not come tap on my shoulder while I'm watching the fights. Say, hey, you okay? Your head doing all right? Just sign this paper if you're okay with it. You don't want to go to the hospital. No, I don't feel like going. Because you don't. You don't feel like doing nothing after you just lost or something illegal just like happened like that. You're bummed out. You don't want to go spend your night in a hospital. You want to go home with your wife back to the hotel and let her rub on you and make you feel better. you know?
Yeah.
So I agree with don't agree with all that kind of stuff, but uh, I do think that Peter did. I don't think Peter intentionally did it, but I think that the disqualification was right.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And going into the next fight, you're going into enemy territory in Mexico against Alexander Barahona in I think it's like Los Mochis, Mexico. What do you think of him as an opponent going into this fight?
I mean, I don't. I think it's a great matchup for me, but the whole thing of what you said is where we're going to, Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Like I looked this place up on Google, and the only two places that were more dangerous was Afghanistan and Syria, and that's because they're in complete
Wow.
war.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like they hate gringos. I'm not a gringo, but if I'm around a bunch of Mexicans, I might look a little white sometimes. I'm a light skinned Moa, like I said. So they might not know what the heck I am. And I'm a biggity fighter. Like I said, I start fights. I'll try to get in your head. I'm going into enemy territory. There's definitely things in my head. There's the warrior in me, the crazy savage in me that's saying, let's go be the bad guy. Let's go fuck some shit up, make some
hmm
people mad. But do I really know who this guy is in with? Do I not know who his friends are and how crazy they are over there? And I don't have none of my mowas going with me. I just have two coaches and some friends from the promotion. You know,
hmm
do I want to go over there and be a nice guy and be respectful and try to be cool as possible and just get in there and just fight and kind of ride out a decision? Or do I want to go in there and be the Chata Tuska and be savage and do what the fucking world thinks I'm going to do and knock this dude out and maybe get shot or put in a body bag
Oh
and
my!
poison?
Oh, Hopefully not, man. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But the story, I definitely ain't doing it for the pay. But the story, I might risk it for the biscuit, man.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. And you said that you wanted to get back into UFC like with 2 wins. Do you think like how many times do you look to fight in 2021? Like, do you think you get those 2 wins in the next couple of months, and do you think you get back in the UFC by the end of 2021?
Yeah, if they take me back, man, I'm gonna get 3 wins before 2021's over. If not four, I'm gonna get 3 wins. If not four, then and if they don't take me back, then I'll probably be looking. I will be looking elsewhere unless somebody before then offers me a big deal. I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna wait out the UFC. They release me, man. And it's business, and I ain't. I'm a little salty about it, but I really ain't because I business and the fight game is unforgivable. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna talk some junk, and I'm gonna win again. I'm gonna talk some junk. If somewhere else has offered me some good pay and some good times, I might go there if the UFC ain't asking me back. But the only reason I would like to get back in the UFC because I did like Dana. I thought me and Sean were cool, and I think we still are. It's just business, but
Yeah.
uh, it's like I didn't have nothing regular in my career, and y'all could at least gave me my last fight. My
Mm-hmm.
first fight, I got a legal need. I was feeling myself that fight. Okay, he took me down once. I almost choked him out with a guillotine, and then I went for a Kimura sweep, and he landed on top, and I was getting ready to get back up easily, and that's when he had the illegal knee me. Okay, yeah, and then my second fight, I've trained, like I said, I took a 5-day notice against Roosevelt during COVID. Didn't have nowhere to train. All the gyms broke down. I'm running outside up and down a hill. He's in California. They're letting him in, at least in a gym. I'm in the woods in
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. Like, this gym was closed. They wouldn't even let me come here. I was
Wow.
closed on for 3 months in Alabama in my backyard training for 3 months in my backyard with friends that are not fighters, guys I hold mitts for. I was putting gloves on them and making them spar me, and I was going light. That was for 3 months and running up down hills, clay hills, just for a little cardio. No grappling for 3 months because I
Wow.
had outside mats and they got rained on and nobody wanted to get on them with me. Everybody was like, "Nah, bro, we ain't get that. You're gonna catch staph." Because we did catch. I caught a little bug, little thing on my leg, and people were scared of grappling for then. So I didn't grapple for 3 months. And I took a fight. I took that Roosevelt fight on 5-day notice and lost 29 pounds and still missed weight, but only missed weight by a pound and 0.2. And that was with a portable sauna. A portable sauna. If I'd had a
Wow.
regular sauna, I would have made weight, made it easy. I lost 29 pounds in 5.5 days, man. Almost 6 days. 29 and a half, and still almost like, and they wanted to bitch at me for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if I'd have lost that last pound, I would have died. My kidneys shut down. Bro. The Dr. Davis of the UFC, the night of weigh-ins and the day of fight, I was cramping up so bad that my body parts wouldn't even move anymore. My arms were like this, locked up, bro.
Wow.
I couldn't straighten them. And he pulled me off the card that night, but they didn't release it. He come back and ask me that morning, 6 o'clock in the morning on fight morning, and I slept it off. And when I slept, I did feel better. I woke up, I was like, okay, my body's finally absorbing the water, and because everything I was drinking was coming out my butt. I couldn't hold nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was gonna call the fight off, but I begged him not to, man, because I was broke, and I didn't make weight, so my check, I didn't get to show money, so I had to fight, man. I put myself in that situation. I told Dana and them that I do, I'd fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, sick or not. I ain't gonna tell y'all, and I was sick, man, but I told him I wasn't gonna tell him. I told Dr. Davis, I said, don't tell him because they'll pull me off. He said, if you go to the hospital, it's done because they're gonna hook you up to IVs, and you can't get IVs no more. So I didn't go to the hospital. I should have went to the hospital, but that was my bad. My body swelled up so bad after that fight for like weeks, man. I could barely walk. That my whole body it was holding fluids. My body was messed up after that, man. It was that them portable saunas they got, man. Them things like a heater on your back, and it starts 40 before you even start sweating. It takes 45 minutes, and then you got that heater on your back, and you can't hardly stay in there.
Yeah.
It's very it. those portable sauna are. So now you're seeing a lot of people during COVID start missing weight, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you why. It's the portable saunas.
Huh.
Now look, trust me, it's the portable saunas. Every fighter that's done did it says
Mm-hmm.
it's the hardest weight cut they've ever did. And the people that missing is because they can't sweat in there no more. Like when you get down to them last few pounds, you need something hot that's right. You need something. You need like you'd be better off going downstairs and getting in your car and cranking up the heater and being in a truck than in that portable sauna, man. Because it takes so long to start sweating in them, and then it drains you because the heater's right on your back, bro. It sucks, man. It's not a good way to cut a lot of weight like we do.
Mm-hmm. And I guess going more into like the marketing side, you're like very good at marketing, and like especially with the weigh-ins too. Like you always like to show your culture too, like with the headdresses and the war paint. I love that stuff. And what do you think? Like a lot of UFC fighters and just MMA fighters in general, like they're not very marketable. Like they don't want to call out anybody in the post fight interview. They don't want to talk any they don't want to talk any crap against their opponents. Like, why do you think that is? Like, do people just want to stay humble and like just go to work, or like, what do you think of UFC or MMA fighters just not taking the opportunities?
So see, man, another thing like I think Joshua, Joshua Fabulous, Diego's guy, the
Mm-hmm.
guru, he was just kind of explaining that, and it's what I already knew too. We was just talking about kind of like how fighters get this image. They're not being them. They have this image of this guy of Bruce Lee being humble, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
looking up to Bruce Lee. So they're like, okay, after this win, I'm not gonna brag on myself. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna talk junk. I'm gonna be humble because everybody likes Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee was humble, or
Yeah.
you know. But and then you got a guy like Conor McGregor, that is going on a down kind of Daniels. He's like won 2 fights and he's on a down spiral. Really,
Yeah.
he's not at his peak right now. But when he was at his peak, it was a lot of. If you look at it, people were talking junk for.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's not on his peak, and everybody's like scared to do that, and then not be able to back it up. So it's like you don't really want to be yourself. A lot of people don't, and then when it's time to be that person you want to be, it's very short. A lot of fighters can't talk in the camera, man. A lot of fighters, this is a lonely lifestyle, and it's all they've ever did. So they get used to being so alone. So when the camera's on them and they're around people, they're socially awkward and they don't know how to talk. They're not they don't have no charisma because that stuff takes practice, and it's not like the reason I got it. It's not like I practiced at it on purpose. It's that I
Mm-hmm.
was on a reservation. I'm in a wolf pack of about 20 of my boys, and we live literally down the road from each other. We could walk to each other's house. We would have to get with each other and go out to the city, and we were always having bonfires and parties, and we were always talking and boom, and I figured because out of all of my boys, I was the least athletic. I was the least fighter. They could all whoop me at one time. So I'm like, I got to be able to become something better than them. So I learned to talk and to be the life of the party and to be funny. And I found out that's what drew me attention. And then the inner man in me and the inner man of everybody, we kind of want to be seen at one point or doing something great. And we want people to accept us and acknowledge us for it, right? Everybody wants to
Mm-hmm.
be acknowledged for something. And some people like to be cocky about it, but most fighters don't like to be cocky about it because they they didn't they didn't get practice at it, if that makes any sense. They just didn't
Yeah.
grow up in that kind of society, man. A lot of fighters, it's a lonely lifestyle. I somehow was able to train every day, go party with my boys, go to work, and then go train again. Then go party with my boys 7 days a week. So I was fighting, partying, talking to all the girls, making friends, inviting them to going to fights, coming out, going to work, working construction too, talking to everybody there, talking junk. and then bam, somehow I made it to where I made it, and then I was like, well, shoot, I'm almost to the UFC. I need to start being. I need to, I'm going to Powwows 3 days a week. I got all this native gear. I'm living around we're all Moas. We need to. Um, the first goal was to get my tribe state federal recognized. To be federal recognized. And I found out there's just way more politics to that. So then I'm like, all right, there's a lot of federal recognized tribes out there. Let me start painting my face up. Let me start doing so. I'm drawing attention to myself. So and eventually, when I'm done fighting and I got all this attention to myself about this Native American recognition, then maybe we can start making some noise on getting some tribes recognized and getting this unfairness that's going on. So I use all that warrior stuff, all that savage stuff, the headdresses, the face paint. I try to rep a different tribe every time, and not just my tribe. I'm trying to do a different tribe every time, something for them. Definitely the area like I'm in. I got something for Mexico because those are my Incas and my Mayan descendants. So I got something for them this next fight. And wherever. I think the next IKON is gonna be in South Dakota, North Dakota at the Sioux Reservation at one of their casinos.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna go up
that's
there.
meant for you, man.
Yeah, main event, boom, and do something for the Sioux and do a couple speeches and be
That would be
marketable as
awesome.
possible. Be marketable as possible, man. I say now these days, you can just you ain't gotta be a great fighter. You can just be a good fighter, but you gotta be a great ass actor, or you just there. I watched the fights the other night, bro, and there's some good fighters. There's
Oh
some
yeah.
talent. The talent is the sport is evolving still so much every fight card, but it's like I can't name one person on that card. I don't remember except to the main event. I don't even remember who the co-main event was. Like nobody stood out.
Yeah.
And I'm not even bragging, but I'm bragging. But when I fight, they already said I'm a needle mover. People tune in, they want to see me either get whooped or they want to see me win. And like I got a lot of hate because of they thought I was dog fighting at one time, and I got 9 different dogs. Why in the world would I be recording a dog fight? Like, people are idiots, but it's publicity. So now I got people that hate me tuning in to watch me fight just because they want to see me get whooped because they thought I was a dog fighter over a misunderstood message. And me just being joking around, just being dumb, not even lie, I was drinking a beer, being dumb at the time. So I had to watch. You had to watch what you put on the internet. At the time, I had 10,000 followers, just coming off the Contender. So I was at my peak at that time. And I always put dumb junk like that on my Instagram before the Contender. Nobody said anything about it. Like, say some dumbass shit. But I literally said, don't bring your dog over here and get whooped by my dog. And then now they take it as I put a dog fighting video on my shit. Now that's what people actually think when they read it. But it's publicity. Now they follow me. Now they want to see me lose. But now they made the new needle move, and eventually that'll pay off for me. Eventually, it didn't right now, but it'll pay off eventually.
I guess a rapper said this quote: "Any publicity is good publicity."
All publicity is good publicity. I go by that saying.
Definitely, man. And yeah, like when I posted about your release and your message, after it, there's like so much comments. I just like deleted all of them because like I mean, there's like a lot more to the story. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, I think this is a good way to end the interview. Just thank you so much again for the time, Brok. And hey, I'll definitely send you a T-shirt to ATT soon.
For sure, man. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks, Brok.